Kia ora. My name's Hamish McIntosh and I'm a psychologist at the Cancer Society in Auckland. And I'm here with my colleague Anna, who's also a psychologist. And we're going to talk today about cancer-related fatigue, which is something we talk to a lot of patients about here.
Kia ora, Hamish. Yeah, so most of our patients here really struggle with cancer fatigue. It's more than just feeling a little bit tired. It is an all-encompassing, all-body tiredness that isn't just resolved with a good night's sleep. It can go on for quite some time after treatment's finished, but certainly it's very common and it's really normal. And there are a number of different factors that contribute to that.
You can split the causes up into two main categories. One of those is things relating to the body, and so that's like after a surgery, your body has to spend a lot of energy on recovering and healing. But then also if you're taking things like pain medication, a side effect of that can be fatigue. When it comes to the mind side of things, the stress and the worry associated with cancer, that can lead to you feeling a bit more tired than normal. And so there's these two different sort of categories. But the main thing to keep in mind is that you don't need to harden up and soldier on. We don't want you adopting that Kiwi mentality of suffering in silence. It's important you speak up, let your medical team know, because there can be things that can be done. That's like checking your iron levels, checking your thyroid. There can be things that can be fixed. But even after you've got those things squared away, the fatigue might still be lingering. And so I'm wondering, Anna, are there things that you suggest to people in this instance?
Yes, there are things people can do, and the number one magic strategy that we recommend is pacing. So often what happens with cancer fatigue is that people will get into a cycle of booming and busting. So what that means is people might try and get all of their things done in the morning, and then there's a crash in the afternoon. So they can be left feeling absolutely exhausted because they've overdone it. And then there's a long period of underactivity where people really need to rest and recuperate. Now that over and underactivity cycle's generally not too helpful for the body when you're trying to recover from cancer fatigue. So pacing is effectively changing the way that you do your activity rather than stopping it. You're just doing it in a different way, and it's little and often activity rather than the big booms and then those crashes.
And so that sounds like it involves a real shift in expectations as well. You might change up the way you mow the lawns, for example, and instead of mowing the whole lawn on one day, you break it up and do the front lawns in the morning because that's more important to present to your neighbours, and then you do the back lawns later on in the week when you feel like you can manage it. So changing your own expectations of yourself. And I suppose it's not just for physical activities as well. Mental activities can be quite draining, and just churning through your emails at work or making complex decisions can be quite tiring. And so maybe prioritising your emails or letting your colleagues at work know that you need a bit of extra help with decision making can go a long way.
Absolutely. So it's about adapting the way that you do things rather than stopping them. And it's about communicating with others as well, and being aware of those overly optimistic expectations that we can all have of feeling like we can get a certain amount of things done in the day, because that can drive the overactivity, underactivity cycle.
Yeah, I agree. And it can be tough when you're used to being able to achieve so much. Now all of a sudden you can't actually do as much as you used to. So that can be a really tough one for people to deal with. And so what can help in that instance is who you communicate to. And so letting your family know, and perhaps coming up with a creative way of letting them know your energy levels for the day can be really helpful. So one of my favorites I've heard is of a cell phone battery metaphor. You sort of compare your energy levels to the charge of your cell phone, and you might wake up in the morning and think, oh crikey, this is a 40% day. I know I'm going to need to rest and plug in at some point. And if you let your family know, then hopefully they can pick up the slack and do the things that you aren't able to get to that are really important that day. But also hopefully they can check in on you and pull you up if you're doing more than you should be.
And I think, that's a really helpful analogy because cancer fatigue is not visible. It's hard for others to see that. They just see the same old Hamish as they've known before. So having different ways to communicate to your whānau, even your colleagues around you. There's a traffic light system some people use, particularly with little children. It might be today's a red day. I'm not able to do so much, or I might need more help today. Today's a green day, so I can get more done today. So finding your own way to let others know your energy levels on a given day or a given time can be really helpful.
I really like that traffic light metaphor. And is there anything else that you find really important to talk to patients about?
Yeah, there are a number of really great exercise physiologists or physiotherapists that specialise in working with people to improve fitness, to improve strength, to build up after they've been through cancer treatment. So they specialise in managing cancer fatigue, and they can be really, really helpful to have on board.
And it might sound counterintuitive that we're talking about doing exercise in a video about cancer fatigue, but doing a little bit of exercise can actually pay big dividends later on. You can put a bit of effort into exercise, actually can give you more energy later on, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like you might have done a lot of mountain biking or surfing in the past, and now if all you can manage is 10 minutes of yoga in your lounge while you're going through chemotherapy, even that, it will go some way to making you feel more energetic.
Yeah, absolutely. The evidence points towards exercise being really protective against cancer fatigue. So really helpful to keep that as part of your routine if you can, but also avoid that booming and busting with that.
Little and often.
Absolutely.
So Anna, I think we've talked about some good stuff today, but certainly more we could discuss as well. So if people want to get more information, I'd suggest they head along to our website, which is cancer.org.nz. Or they could also call our cancer helpline and speak to a trained cancer information nurse. And the number there is 0800 CANCER.